Welcome to the goldseek.com Market Nugget, a special broadcast brought to you by our sponsor, Peter Spina, this week's featured guest, author and economist, Jim Rogers. Jim Rogers founded the Rogers International Commodities Index and is author of the best-selling book, A Bull in China, plus an upcoming work, A Gift to My Children, A Father's Lesson for Life and Investing, scheduled for release on April 28th, 2009. Welcome back, Jim.
I'm delighted to be here.
You know, looking at the computer screen here, it's showing Singapore as a balmy 78 degrees. I'm envious. Compare that to our 32 degrees here in the North Carolina mountains. I think a move to Asia sounds more appealing here.
In my view, Asia certainly is the wave of the future. I mean, it's going to be much more prosperous than many of the countries in the West, and I want my children to grow up speaking Chinese. And, of course, it's warm here in Singapore.
It sure is. And, you know, I remember in one of your interviews, you pointed out that moving to London in 1807 was the thing to do. Smart thing to do in 1907 was move to New York. Smart thing to do in 2007 was move to Asia.
We did move to Asia in 2007. I mean, you could ask me in about 50 or 100 years if I did the right thing, but so far we're very, very pleased with what we've done.
Well, very good. Jim, you know, you've been a fan of gold for some time. In a recent TV interview, I think it was Bloomberg, I saw you wave a gold coin to illustrate just how bullish you were on the metal at the time. You know, this rally from 680, from that low point to over $1,000 just last week, that was fast and furious, I think, to say the least. While gold is breaking out in terms of most global currencies, it has yet to do so in terms of dollars. You've been able to predict this market awfully well, especially in 2008. Could 2009 be the year that gold sustains the four-digit price level?
Anything could happen. It could go to 250 in 2009. I don't expect that, obviously, but no, it could happen. Will it happen? I don't know. You astutely pointed out that we had a really fast run since the fall, 2008, in gold, and gold was up almost 50% in that period of time, and as you know, probably better than I do, when something goes up very fast, it frequently needs to have a rest, a consolidation. But it would not surprise me that if gold didn't rest for a while, and then later, perhaps, move on to bigger and better things. But again, I am the single worst market timer in the world.
Most folks that I know would give their eye teeth to have your track record as a market timer.
Well, be that as it may, to finish the thought a little bit, I do expect there to be currency crises in 2009 or certainly 2010. That's going to be one of the next crises that we have. Whether the currency crisis is the U.S. dollar or the pound sterling or the Eastern European currencies, who knows? But if and when we do start having the currency crisis, then you know the rest of the story. We're going to have serious problems in the markets, and gold will do very well.
Well, that's a perfect segue into this greenback rally. It's safe to say it surprised nearly everyone. We did build a base for several months before the rally, so I was keeping an eye on it. But the degree to which the dollar climbed, I think, was technically pleasing just to watch. From a technical perspective, the argument for even higher highs in the months ahead, I think, is somewhat compelling here. Folks are pounding the table that it was the unwinding of these credit default swaps and the carry trade that helped increase demand for the dollar here. This is clearly having at least a temporary deflationary effect, I think, on the global and domestic economy. How long do you anticipate that sort of deflationary effect to contain inflation here?
Well, we are having a forced liquidation of everything, of all positions, whether people want to liquidate or not. If you're getting margin calls or losing your credit line or getting redemptions, you have to liquidate. This has only happened a few times in history, maybe 8 or 9 times in the last 150 years, but the fact that it's historic doesn't make it any more fun, but it is happening. One has to face that. That's causing the prices of many things to go down, except the dollar and the yen, as you point out, and gold, of course. But I don't think it's going to last too much longer because, if nothing else, inventories have been whittled down a lot. I think you're going to find that the inventories of food are the lowest they've been in 50 years. You're going to find many inventories are very low. And before too much longer, we're going to see problems in prices throughout the world.
Very good. I'd like to move on to the equities market. Just last week, the benchmark Dow Jones Industrials crashed to a fresh bear market low point on reports of a stalemate in the banking sector bailout plan. There's only 30 stocks in the Dow, but it is the most widely followed global equities index in the world. A lot of these global stock markets have suffered similar fates in the past 12 months. Some folks like Nouriel Roubini have been tossing around the depression term. No one has a perfect crystal ball here, but do you expect stocks to underperform competing financial classes again in 2009, Jim?
This is a very good chance we will have a depression. Last Great Depression was caused by politicians turning what should have been a normal recession into a depression by making a lot of mistakes. Unfortunately, politicians are making bad mistakes again, some of the same ones. Well, Obama's talking about taxing capital. I mean, here we are in the worst capital crisis in decades, and he's going to raise taxes on capital. I mean, that's pure genius, if you ask me, just genius. He's also, not just Obama, but many countries are talking about protectionism. These are the things which caused the Great Depression. Politicians are making the same mistakes. Again, they're bailing out banks, just as they did in the early years of the Depression, which led to more bank failures. So very good chance we're going to have a depression, certainly in some